Good evening. It's a Sunday evening, 7 o'clock, and had the day off, so did a bit of housework. I had good nose bag as well, you know, had something to eat, and now I'm listening to my radios. So this is the terrible background, but unfortunately, for getting AM and shortwave, and so getting medium wave and shortwave, this is the best windowsill without picking lots of interference up that these radios like, and I can actually get an outside aerial out into the back garden. So I always use this backdrop. Maybe I should put some stickers on it because I'll probably use it quite a few times this winter. So I'll have a look through the AM. You know, I like the weird and wonderful things. Shortwave in the day, it does like the dusk and the dark anyway, because of it bounces up into the ionosphere and bounces back down and does magical things up there at night and goes longer distances, as we know. But in the day, it's been pretty dead again. So it's not until about 6 o'clock it's probably made any sense today on 6 megacycles where I listen to. So we'll go for a quick flip through that for you, if you're a radio fan. If you're not a radio fan, none of this will make any sense to you whatsoever. Sorry about that. So I've got my 2 radios, my X-Data and my small one I bought a couple of weeks ago, and my Teskin. Got that Teskin as well, which stopped working, which now magically started working again. So I'm using it again. It's got a bit more. That's great. I can put it in my pocket, and it seems to be less sensitive to interference on medium wave, as I said. So I do like that set. But in the house, I use that quite a lot. We'll go through. We'll chop and change between the both, because people actually like to see how they both kind of act. Because there's you know. Everyone tries to compare them, even though you can't compare them. This is basically a £70 set, where this was originally a set of 280 quid. So they're not really compatible to kind of weigh up in the same kind of measure. Even though the little one does keep up with the Teskin one, reception-wise, it just hasn't got the bigger speaker. So we'll go through shortwave first. There's not been a hell of a lot on, or not a hell of a lot I could actually hear. So we start about 6,300. Let's start at 6,400. Go through the weird and unusual noises. What station that is?
Tinha ocorrido no pós-Segunda Guerra Mundial, acabam por ser momentos de confrontação.
As you see, things are coming through quite well now on 6 megacycles. Here, our weekend music radio have been on 2 frequencies this weekend, so you can just get them on 6,300. It's weaker. So, but their normal transmitters on 6,295 down here. Making some weird noises at the moment. Beginning of a song, or is it making weird noises? Bit of Morse code now. He usually put
Morse music, radio, stuff. Just to help you out with the idea, if your signal's a little bit on the poor side. Weekend Music Radio, right pressure on Shortwave, doing our funky stuff each and every weekend, like we've done since 1980. Let's go back in time now to 1982, is it? 1982, from the 1980.
do like a bit of weekend music radio. So they've been going since March 1980 at the weekend. So weekend music. Yeah, and that the Morse code we heard was basically saying weekend music radio in Morse code. That's what we kind of bumped into there. So, but I could get that today, but it's only in the last hour or two the signals start to come through really well. Yeah. Absolutely nothing to speak of around there. There's usually something, but nothing. Apart from weird and wonderful noises, but I don't know all these weird and wonderful noises are. Maybe you do. Shortwave radio, as usual, or Shortwave Gold, it sometimes calls itself. You get a bit of Andy Walker on there sometimes. Radio Europe on 6130 like usual.
That the EC must continue to revise the election register. So it doesn't give that right to anybody.
Richard, when you say to critics from the NDC hosting at ESN,
I don't know what that is. It might be a God channel. I think there is a God channel around there somewhere. That's channel 292 that relays radio stations. Some interesting stuff on that. I never get it very, very well. I'm going down to something that's quite interesting. Right there. There you go. Now 5955 is Radio Veronica. Now Radio Veronica, for anyone that knows from the past, Radio Veronica was like what do you call it? Holland, the Netherlands kind of Radio Caroline. So it broadcasted from, was it 19? Was it? It was both. What year did it start broadcasting? Was it 90? Was it a bit before Caroline? Was it 1960? I don't know. But it started broadcasting in the 1960s, lasted continuously longer because obviously our government got rid of all the pirate radio stations in '67 by making a law that no one could advertise on them, so it wasn't kind of commercially viable for them to continue. So Radio London's shut down, Radio England, Radio 270, Radio Scotland. Radio Caroline plodded on, as we know, and went in '68. But Holland didn't do the same thing. It wasn't very popular. And Radio Veronica was very, very popular. So they didn't do that until '74. There was a big campaign to make Radio Veronica the national station, let it keep continuing, which I don't think it happened, but eventually they did get a licence. And I think they broadcast on FM. Not in all areas. I'm not an expert on Radio Veronica, so there must be someone that's got more information than me, so you can put the information on below. I remember going to The Hague and getting it on FM with the Radio Veronica jingles and stuff like that, and was quite impressed because I remember my dad talking to it, and I think it might have been. I think it was it on medium wave as well after the '70s, because it did end up with a licence, and it was only part of the original team, part of the DJs that applied for the licence. Now, who's involved in Radio Veronica, I don't know if it has a historical link to the original Veronica. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Down below, you can tell me. But it's turned up on a licence from from Holland on Shortwave, and people kind of, why has it gone on Shortwave? Because it's not a massive commercial pull Shortwave. It's very interesting to people like this, people like me, but it's turned up on 5955 Shortwave. It has a station that's broadcasting to the Asian population, right next to it in the afternoon, and it kind of gets a bit swamped by that. So even though it's on 5955, and there's something else underneath it as well, I think. Sometimes I listen just off 5955, sometimes 558, and it clears it up a bit. So I'll just show you this. See you there. No, it's 2 weeks to go. It's not coming through well at all at the moment, but earlier on that was coming in really well. Now keep an eye on that. They play some alright music actually. What's down here? Sometimes we get something interesting down here. No. Something on 5840 there. Bit of Bowie. I don't know who that is. My mate Nigel Homer would know who that is. It's probably a Dutch station. It's usually Dutch about 5800. They're usually Dutch continental, and is it Cuckoo sometimes down here, or up on 6.3. So I think there was Rock Revolution used to come down here as well sometimes. That's a really good signal. Let's just try that for Veronica again. No. Oh, there you go. I've gone to 5.3. Yeah, going to 5.3 I've done it. There's something on 5.5 at the same time, it's blanking it out. That's Radio Veronica. You know what, next time I have to do radio, I'm going to have to set something up here so it's not too dull. At least I can see if the cat's messing about in the garden. They've got a cat, and the cat's called Tilly, it's from up the road. You've got to watch those Tillys, you know. And sometimes it goes after the birds, and sometimes it leaves nice deposits for me. Not that I'm a cat hater, it's just Tilly committed. I think me and Tilly are at a war. And some cats are scared. Tilly's not scared, it just looks at me and goes, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I might listen to that in a bit, see what that is. We'll wait till the music ends and see if we can find out what it is. Come on, Bowie. Made some long tunes, didn't he? Oh no, it's going to play another Bowie tune. It's not even going to ID itself. We'll have a quick look through Maiden Wave. As we know, there's not much on Maiden Wave in the day now. But in the night, it kind of brightens up a little bit. So let's go Maiden Wave for you. Now, even a couple of weeks ago, Radio Caroline broadcast 24/7 from Norfolk, and it kind of gets down the southeast coast and actually gets up to Hull quite well. So on the eastern side of the UK, you can get Radio Caroline album station 24/7 on 648. Here it doesn't come till night, and it has been taking quite a while to get to us. It's usually about 9 o'clock when you can make any sense out of it. But now it's getting darker, and the signals travel further on medium wave like shortwave. At night, we're getting 648, and what is it, about 7:30, 7:45? And we're getting quite a good signal. So if you've got medium wave and you can't, put this on your preset and keep checking it in the evening and see if you can get it.
It's pretty neat too. It's a delightful food. More things for birthday gadgets we cater for all occasions. Book your bowling adventure at mrjeanbowling.co.uk. And remember, there are no strings attached here. Mr. Jean Bowling Centre, home of the Radio Caroline 648 support group on the A1065 crossroads in Brandon, Suffolk. It's not quite the same, is it? Nothing beats the company of a real cat. At catsat.org, the cat rescue website, you'll find hundreds of cats for adoption at rehoming centres in your...
That's Radio Caroline and my normal aerial. Let's see what it's like on this one. 648. That's the number to remember, 648. That is the number to remember. Try it on this one. That radio is a lot more top-endy, but it kind of makes the audio a lot more identified when it's in a kind of a small signal. So yeah, in a way, they're better medium wave. Let me get me medium wave loop area, see if we can get it better than that. Well, we can get it better than that, can't we? We'll put the signal meter up. It's showing about 3 on the signal meter. These aerials are quite worth getting. You don't actually have to connect it to your radio. You just have to put it near it. As I'll show you. Everyone always asks if these work. These do work. Yeah. See, put it right. I can get rid of the signal if I put it at one side, but yeah, that's quite nice. Yeah. That's keeping a pretty reasonable signal. Let's have a listen to it on this one. Yeah, they're reading. Seem to be nulling out some of the interference by making the signal weaker with that, because obviously I'm getting some interference from things like mobile phone chargers on AM and computers. So what seems to be happening with that is this one is registering 3.6 on its signal meter here. And sometimes it's a little bit fussy. So what I've done with this one is kind of lowered the signal and it's got rid of the fussiness. Quite interesting that. So obviously a full signal's sometimes the best signal. Going to use this one because it's easier to tune around on this one. Got my jogging pants on. I'm too big. Genuine. Let's see. 5 live as normal. Bit of Spanish, you get a bit of football. Something like an 810. That's Radio Scotland on 810, isn't it? I don't seem to get Radio Wales at all now. I think that's Radio Scotland. That'll come in better later on. That used to come in blasting, but what the BBC did with all their medium wave transmitters, instead of getting rid of them, they turned them all down. So, yeah, that used to come in blasting in Cheshire and Lancashire. It doesn't anymore. You have to wait till total darkness until it gets to us correctly now. Yeah, and all the is Radio Wales still on a medium wave? I think it's on 1, but it's we used to get it like it was next door here, and it's disappeared. Mind you, I think it's on 90.1, is it? 90.1 next to Radio 2, and you can get that on FM up here. And I had a friend who's passed away, unfortunately. He used to drive to Dolgellau, and he could get that transmitter generally all the way to Dolgellau in Mid Wales.
If you were there, what's the one
Yeah, Radio Cumbria is still there.
on you? You've got every reason.
Was the fact that his feet
5 Live. Lycra Radio. That seems to get up here alright.
Yeah, I think
Talk Sport. Just a quick flick through. Something on 1251 there. A lot of the stations now we've got left basically Asian stations from different cities and stuff like that, because they generally took those licenses on in the first place in the 90s, the noughties, and they've still got them. So a lot of the stuff that you'll hear is different cities, usually kind of Asian, and sometimes I think Lycra, or sometimes there's independent ones. Manchester's got an independent one, which we get. That might be it. Was it 1296? That's probably it actually. So we get quite a lot of that. So yeah, when this one goes, it'll be a big loss. Manx Radio, 1368. You can get that all around here when you're driving around in the car. 1368. That transmitter's been here since the 1960s. And Radio Caroline North uses it once a month, which is great, but they do say it's only got living on borrowed time, so be really sad to let that go, see that one go, because there won't be much to listen to music on medium wave then, which is really sad. So, but that they started broadcasting the same year as Radio Caroline. Now, I think they were I think they were June '64. Caroline was obviously started in April '64, and they had the two boats. So they had Caroline South, and they started Caroline North and anchored over next to the Isle of Man. So Isle of Man went from no radio stations whatsoever to 2. So it had Radio Caroline North in the '60s and Manx Radio, but also so did like kind of Lancashire and Cumbria. Went from having basically the BBC telling you how to make cakes and stuff like that, telling you how great we are and all that kind of stuff, and to having 2 big radio stations next to them playing pop music. Sounds pretty good to me. That's where Radio Luxembourg was, 1440. We do get Radio 208 on there sometimes, which is celebrating. It's only got, I think it's not got a massive. Is it from Sweden, Radio 208? So late at night, sometimes we get that. We get it in the car quite well, and they're on 1440. But just I thought I'd give you a quick look around Meaden Wave. It was more going round Shortwave, seeing how the band's improving, and the band's still pretty grim reception wise until later on at the moment, but it will improve. See, radio people are the only people that actually look forward to the dark. Most people look forward to the sun, and going to the beach and stuff like that, which I like that as well. But radio people, once the nights start drawing in, they're quite excited because they can sit in their little sheds and listen to radio signals from far, far away. I haven't got a shed, so I have to use the kitchen. Right, I'll leave you to it. I hope that little video was okay. But yeah, I thought I'd show you Radio Veronica because that one's quite interesting. And I'll probably listen to it in the evening this week and listen to its music. Okay, right, I will see you soon, everyone. Hope you're all well. Like and subscribe, and yeah, until the next adventures of Tilly Up North.